Hey everybody, I'm David, and today I want to talk about Stranger Things Season 2. This season just hit Netflix this week, and I wanted to talk about it just like Season 1. I really love Season 1 a lot. I think Season 1 was a really solid season, and I'm going to admit this right now. Season 2 is probably even better than season one. That's right. It's a continuation of a show that the next season definitely steps up its game. I think this season really had a much better flow than the first season. And the first season had a really good flow too, but this one definitely captured the feel and heightened it. And the storytelling was much more tighter. The characters, the ones that we love from the first season, are great to return to in this season. The new characters are welcome additions. First let me start off with Lucas and Max. Max is a new character to the show that we're introduced to, and she sort of becomes a love interest for Lucas. And I think the two kids definitely had nice chemistry there. I think they hit it off really good, and you learn a lot about Max as the season continues, along with her brother, who is a little bit of a psychopath, who is played by Dacre Montgomery, who played Jason the Red Ranger earlier this year in the Power Ranger movie. So it's always nice to see an actor from that Power Ranger movie, in my opinion, go on to great success. And he definitely takes a U-turn in this one. Like, Power Rangers, they're heroes, they're superheroes with a heart of gold, so they want to protect the world and do the right thing. But in this one, he's playing a psychopath, and there are moments I was like kind of worried for the little girl, because her older brother, whoa, this is your brother? Stepbrother, to be in fact. You learn a little bit more about him too, maybe kind of a little hint of a maybe sympathetic side, even though it's kind of hard to sympathize for him because of the road he takes. But maybe season 2 can expand a little bit more on his character. Who knows? I'd like to see where his relationship with his sister will go, especially how his character ends in this season. We also get a little bit of Dustin, who has a really fun time, clearly, in this season. Steve, who you guys might remember as Nancy's boyfriend from the last season. They're still sort of a couple, I'll leave it at that. But Steve kind of becomes a mentor to young Dustin in this season, and I actually kind of like their scenes together. That's something this season I think they did really well on, is give us some character moments where we haven't seen some of these characters interact with certain ones in the last season. So now we're getting some different combinations here, which I really liked. And I definitely like the Steve angle, where he's kind of at times taking care of the kids, specifically Dustin, like I said, who he kind of mentors a little bit in the arts of romance. And then, of course, there's Will. And in the last season, Will didn't really do much, but his presence was always felt, because the story kind of centered on his disappearance in the first season. In this season, it definitely centers on him once again, and it's good to see this kid actor really sink his teeth into some really interesting scenes, that some even creepy at times, which I thought was really well done, and I was really impressed even by the kids acting, because we never really got to see much of it in season 1. So now that we get to see him in season 2, it's like you see the innocent side, but there's a little bit more to him, a more complex side to him than we kind of already knew, but it was great to delve right into it in this season. And of course, there's Elle and Mike, who are the main kids that, really, other than Will, I think Mike and Elle also share the story arc, the big story arc with the whole season. And it's a long-awaited moment, I'll say that much, for the reunion to happen. So that way, if you're looking for it right away, at least you're not too disappointed. But when it comes, it's worth it, and it's a great seeing these characters do what they do, learning a little bit more about Elle's past, and a little bit more into the organization, the agency, I guess, that studied her and did experiments to her. We learn a little bit more. There was one episode that focused on her specifically, which I won't spoil because I feel like the title spoils it a little bit. But once you get there, that was probably my least favorite episode. If you've seen the season already, you know what episode I'm talking about. It focuses entirely on her, and yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I was expecting a lot more information than what we got. We got some, but not in the way, not the information that I want. I was hoping for a little bit more to it than just what we got in that episode. Winona Ryder and David Harbour are back also, and they're really great. They're definitely I guess Winona Ryder is the mother figure of this show, and she has a new boyfriend in this one, played by Sean Astin. Anyways, Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, or Mikey from The Goonies, whichever one you want to take. And he was great in this. I thought he was going to be like the expanded boyfriend, where he would be like, he's gonna be whatever, and he's gonna be killed off right away or something, or they're gonna break up because he can't handle it. But he actually turns out to be a really likable character, and I wanted him to survive all the way through. So did I get my wish? You're gonna have to watch the show and find out for yourself. David Harbour is I can't go too much into detail actually on his character, because that's kind of the whole point of the first episode. There's a little surprise if you want to know how the ending of season 1 kind of hints at it, and where it takes place in season 2. He's taking up some responsibilities, and at times you kind of are conflicted with the way he's handling it, or at least I was. But then by the end of it, you understand his whole situation and what he was trying to do, and you love him for that, man. He's a big, tough guy with a heart of gold, and that's what makes all these characters great. They're all lovable characters. I will say that I was kind of annoyed with the way Elle and Mike treated Max when she was kind of coming into the group. I was kind of annoyed with that, because I'm going to admit this, not everyone's nice to Max, and she's already putting up with a lot of bullshit in her life. So I was kind of annoyed by that a little bit, because you knew it wasn't going to end. They kind of tried to do this love triangle thing, which wasn't necessary, because you knew she was going to either end up with Lucas or Dustin. And it's pretty early on where you realize, okay, it's going to be with Lucas. So I don't know why they put a jealousy angle on it, but hopefully I'm not spoiling anything huge. It has nothing to do with the overall story, but I probably did spoil already a little bit of how this ends up. So I'm going to end this here, guys. Other than like some minor things like that, I thought this was really cool. I thought this was a really great season to come back to. And, you know, a lot of times it does feel like those movies from the 80s, or maybe, yeah, mostly from the 80s that we really enjoy. There's even some references to some 70s and maybe some 90s stuff in there as well. I think I noticed a Jurassic Park reference at one point, and a Close Encounters to the Third Kind reference. So it's not all about the 80s. There's a little bit of other things in there as well. Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna rate this season as a 9.5 out of 10. I thought this was a really strong season to come back to, and you know, they're planning a 4-season arc, 2 seasons down, 2 more to go. The next season can't get here fast enough. I want Netflix to greenlight this shit right away, ASAP, and get it out. I want to watch it. You know what? Just release season 3 and 4 back to back right away. That's a good idea. So until then, guys, comment below. Tell me what you thought of the new season of Stranger Things. Did you like it or not? comment below, like this video, and if you are new to my channel, subscribe to this video. Hopefully I can entertain you with more of my reviews and thoughts on things. And until next time, take care.